The Pittsburgh Steelers are once again at the center of NFL conversation as a familiar and respected name begins to dominate headlines across league insiders and national sports networks. According to growing ESPN buzz, Stephon Gilmore is emerging as a serious candidate for a return to Pittsburgh, a move that could immediately reshape the identity of the Steelers' defense. Gilmore is not just another veteran cornerback. He is a former Defensive Player of the Year, a proven shutdown presence, and a leader whose football intelligence and physicality still command respect throughout the league. As the Steelers continue to build a roster capable of competing with elite AFC offenses, the possibility of Gilmore reclaiming a role as a defensive alpha is gaining real traction.
Welcome back to Steelers Daily News, your trusted destination for non-stop Pittsburgh Steelers coverage, breaking updates, insider reports, and daily NFL developments centered on the black and gold. This channel is dedicated to delivering accurate, fast-moving Steelers news with a clear focus on how roster moves, league rumors, and defensive shifts impact the future of the franchise.
Every report, every development, and every headline matters when it comes to building a championship-caliber team, and today's story surrounding Stephon Gilmore fits that mission perfectly. Stephon Gilmore's name carries weight in NFL circles for a reason. Over the course of his career, he has consistently matched up against the league's best wide receivers and come out on top. His time with New England cemented his reputation as one of the most technically sound cornerbacks of his generation, while his later stints demonstrated his adaptability and football IQ. Even as the league has shifted towards speed-based offenses and pass-heavy systems, Gilmore has continued to show that elite positioning, discipline, and anticipation can neutralize even the most explosive passing attacks. For a Steelers defense that thrives on physicality and structure, Gilmore's skill set fits naturally into the team's DNA. The current Steelers secondary has shown flashes of brilliance, but consistency remains the key question. Injuries, youth, and rotation changes have created moments of vulnerability, particularly against high-tempo offenses and elite route runners. This is where Gilmore's potential return becomes so significant. His presence would instantly elevate the unit's communication, reduce blown coverages, and bring a calming influence during high-pressure situations. Defensive coordinators value players who can function as on-field extensions of the coaching staff, and Gilmore has long been recognized as exactly that type of leader. ESPN analysts have highlighted how Pittsburgh's defensive philosophy aligns with Gilmore's strengths. The Steelers have always valued physical cornerbacks who are not afraid to engage at the line of scrimmage while still maintaining discipline and coverage. Gilmore's ability to jam receivers, read quarterback intentions, and bait throws into dangerous windows remains elite. Even at this stage of his career, he continues to demonstrate that experience can outweigh raw speed when deployed correctly. In a division filled with talented receivers and aggressive quarterbacks, that experience becomes invaluable. One of the most intriguing aspects of a potential Gilmore return is how it could redefine leadership within the defense. The Steelers already possess star power across the front seven, but adding a veteran defensive back with Gilmore's resume would unify the unit from front to back. His leadership style is not loud or flashy. It is rooted in preparation, accountability, and execution. Younger players benefit from seeing how a seasoned veteran approaches film study, practice habits, and in-game adjustments. That influence can accelerate development across the secondary almost immediately. Another key element driving this conversation is Pittsburgh's championship window. The Steelers are not in rebuild mode. They are positioning themselves to compete now. Every roster move is being evaluated through the lens of postseason success. Playoff football exposes weaknesses quickly, particularly in coverage. Gilmore's postseason experience, including deep playoff runs in Super Bowl-level pressure, gives the Steelers a proven option when games tighten and mistakes become costly. Defensive stops in January are often the difference between advancing and going home, and Gilmore has lived in those moments. Financial flexibility and roster construction also play a role in why this move makes sense. The Steelers have shown discipline in how they allocate resources, often favoring value signings, acknowledging veteran contributions without sacrificing long-term flexibility. Gilmore's market value reflects his experience rather than speculative upside, making him an efficient addition for a team seeking immediate impact without overextending. From a front office perspective, this is the type of move that balances performance with sustainability. Opposing offenses would be forced to adjust if Gilmore returns to Pittsburgh. Quarterbacks who once targeted certain matchups would think twice, and offensive coordinators would need to account for a defender capable of altering game plans. That ripple effect benefits the entire defense. Pass rushers gain extra time, safeties can disguise coverages more effectively, and linebackers can focus on run fits rather than compensating for coverage gaps. Defense is a collective effort, and elite cornerback play enhances every level of the unit. The AFC landscape continues to grow more competitive each season. Teams are loading up on explosive receivers and innovative offensive schemes designed to stress defensive backfields. The Steelers have responded by reinforcing their identity rather than abandoning it. Bringing back a player like Gilmore reinforces the idea that disciplined physical defense still wins at the highest level. It sends a message to the locker room and the rest of the league that Pittsburgh remains committed to imposing its will rather than chasing trends. For fans, the emotional element of a Gilmore return cannot be ignored. Familiar faces returning to Pittsburgh often reignite belief and excitement throughout the fan base. Steelers Nation values loyalty, toughness, and players who embody the franchise's culture. Gilmore's work ethic, professionalism, and on-field demeanor align seamlessly with those values. His return would not just be a football decision, it would be a cultural reinforcement of what it means to wear the black and gold. As the offseason narrative continues to unfold, all eyes remain on how Pittsburgh chooses to finalize its defensive blueprint. ESPN buzz rarely intensifies without reason, and league insiders understand that moves of this nature often develop quietly before becoming official. The Steelers are known for operating decisively when the fit is right, and Gilmore represents a rare blend of experience, production, and leadership that few available players can match. No matter how the situation ultimately resolves, one thing is clear. Stephon Gilmore's name is firmly back in the Steelers' conversation, and the implications are massive. A defense anchored by veteran leadership, elite fundamentals, and playoff-tested resilience is exactly what Pittsburgh has built its legacy upon. As developments continue to emerge, Steelers Daily News will remain locked in, delivering every update, reaction, and breakdown as this story progresses. Stay connected, stay informed, and keep it right here for the latest Steelers news straight from the heart of the NFL. The possibility of Stephon Gilmore stepping back into a Steelers uniform also reflects a broader commitment by the organization to sustain defensive excellence in an era dominated by offense. Pittsburgh has never relied on shortcuts or temporary solutions when building its defense, and a move like this underscores a belief in proven talent and accountability. Gilmore's return would symbolize stability at a time when many teams cycle through defensive backs without continuity, reinforcing a system built on trust and execution. As the Steelers continue shaping a roster designed for physical matchups, late-season battles, and postseason intensity, the presence of a veteran defensive alpha could become the final piece that turns strong performances into statement wins across the league.